Hi everyone. It's a pleasure for me to introduce you to the Stand With Her campaign. My name is Asiya Sherwani and I'm a change management practitioner and advisor. I'm also the training head of the Women's Safety Wing at Telangana Police. Stand With Her is a men led prevention initiative where we believe that women's safety, well being, and full participation in society, economy, and politics is a shared social responsibility of all men and women. Today's theme, the theme that we will be discussing today through our panel, is digital dignity, boundaries, and responsible online presence and participation. We are going to today be moving away from cyber crimes towards everyday digital behavior. It's so nice to see so many wonderful panelists who've made a mark in their fields, and I'm going to be introducing all of them to you one by one. I would first like to introduce Ajay Radha Kumar, who is an Ambedkarite, an anti-caste content creator, and an intersectional feminist. He's currently associated with Sahasra TV, where he contributes short form social political content. The second panelist, who I have the pleasure of introducing, is Sachin Singala. Sachin is a digital marketing professional, content creator, and writer who focuses on building brand led campaigns and shaping compelling digital narratives. Online, he runs a highly engaged Instagram platform where he uses sharp humor and he rigorously dismantles misogynistic content. The next panelist is Premamalini Vanam. As we all know, she's an award-winning television journalist. She's the recipient of not one, but two Nandi Awards from the erstwhile Andhra Pradesh state government. She has her own digital media channel, which goes by the name of Prema, the Journalist, where she hosts interviews with prominent and influential personalities from various fields. I'd like to now introduce Anasuya Bharadwaj, who's a self-made actress. I love the word self-made. And she entered the world of television almost by chance, she tells us. And, this unexpected beginning has led her into cinema. And over time, her steady rise has reflected not only talent and charisma, but also her perseverance, discipline, and her strong commitment. And she is not only admired for her on screen presence, but her social conscience. And she speaks out against what she sees as, unnecessary aggression and harm to women. And her goal is to shift societal attitudes. I'd like to introduce our next panelist, who's Charu Sinha, IPS. She's the Additional Director General of Police. She's the DG of Anti-Corruption Bureau, or ACB. She's the ADG of CID, or as we all know, the Crime Investigation Department. And most importantly for us today, she is also the ADG of the Women's Safety Wing. She is a key inspiration behind the Stand With Her campaign. So thank you, Charuji, for being here. And I'd like to hand over to you to steer this conversation further.
Thank you so much. So very warm welcome again to all our panelists today. The core message of today's panel discussion is that online spaces are as good as real spaces. And men's everyday choices build either a culture of respect or disrespect. So either a culture of dignity or a culture of disrespect. So what exactly is digital dignity about? What are digital boundaries about? What is digital empathy? These are the subjects which we are going to dwell on today. Do we treat people like people online, or do we treat them like content? That is a very important question which I would actually like the panelists to ponder over. The most common harm which is done online is not in the form of a dramatic crime like online sexual harassment, etc. Of course, that is also a part, but that's not our focus today. We are talking about small, repeatable behaviors that slowly teach everyone in the room, in the online room, what is normal. It could be as simple as forwarding a screenshot. It could be laughing at a joke humiliating someone. It could be a humiliating meme. It could be pushing someone constantly for photographs. It could be making a sexist joke. It could even be rating girls and women. It could be age shaming women. It could be ignoring somebody's discomfort, posting without asking, tagging in order to embarrass somebody, and persisting in spite of a repeated no, and turning somebody's private moment into group entertainment. So, what is the shift that we would like to talk about today? There are many people who say that I didn't do anything. I didn't create a joke. I didn't say anything. I didn't participate in anything. So, let's take a look at, as a person who has a very strong online presence, what do I permit? What do I reward? What do I forward? And what do I laugh at? Or what do I stay silent about, especially when it's happening to somebody else? How empathetic are we? How sensitive are we to somebody else's humiliation, somebody else's discomfort, somebody else's trolling? Because it doesn't matter to us. We are not affected by it directly. But how do we permit it? Do we stay silent about it? Do we allow it? Is the question here. Online culture is not built by just that one person who is posting something. It is built more by the audience, by the reactions of the audience, the forwards, or the, bro, it's funny, or the silence, or the belief that just ignore it and move on. Right? So, again, when we come to treating people like people and not like content, what does that mean? We are not saying that all men are bad, or the men who are online, all men are bad. It's just that men have a very outsized influence on group norms, particularly youth and workplace environments, especially around humor, especially about sexuality, and I'm sure Anasuya can throw a light on that, and what counts as good. So men have an influence in deciding all these factors. So the question for the people who are online is, am I using my social power to increase dignity or to earn points, likes, at someone else's expense? And here we are not talking only about men. Women equally participate in these online jokes, forwards, trolling, etc., etc. They are active participants in all this. Why does this matter? Why does all this matter? Because here we are talking about creating a good society. We are talking about creating a society where respect is the most important aspect rather than disrespect. Or rather, in a continuum of disrespect, how do we change it to a culture of respect? This online world seems to have gone totally out of control. And what can we do about it? If disrespect becomes the norm online, it doesn't take long before offline the same happens. And it gets translated offline. So in any room where disrespect is the norm, you can imagine that that's how it's going to travel that fast on online, on campuses, in workplaces, in our real world. Silence online can never be neutral. Other groups read it as permission. And this is something which we need to be aware of. So I think with this, I set the tone for the conversation today. And Ajay, can we start with you? What are your thoughts on this?
Firstly, I want to start with the line, silence is also violence. ఎప్పుడైనా సరే ఒక ఉమెన్ వచ్చి ఆన్లైన్లో కానీ ఆర్ఎల్స్ ఆఫ్లైన్లో అయినా సరే వెన్ దే షేర్ దేర్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్, ఎప్పుడైతే వాళ్ళు అబ్యూస్ ఫేస్ చేస్తున్నారో ఆర్ఎల్స్ వాళ్ళ లైఫ్లో ఇట్లా పేట్రియార్కీ ఎఫెక్ట్ అవుతుంది అన్నప్పుడు, అండ్ వెన్ ఎవర్ దే సే థింగ్స్ అబౌట్ మెన్, నా లైఫ్లో ఉన్న మెన్ నన్ను ఇట్లా చేశారు అని చెప్పేసి, అండ్ ద ఓన్లీ థింగ్ ఐ సీ ఇన్ దేర్ కామెంట్స్ ఈస్ some comment from men saying not all men. Firstly, Yeah, okay, not all men, I know many men are good men, I know that. But how can a woman that got affected by abuse by men know that you are a good man?
Yeah.
వాళ్ళకి తెలియదు ఎవరు గుడ్ మెన్ ఎవరు బ్యాడ్ మెన్ అని చెప్పేసి. రీసెంట్లీ నేను రాజ్ భవన్ రోడ్లో ఇట్లా పోతున్నప్పుడు దేర్ ఐ సా సమ్ గాయ్ దేర్. ఒక అమ్మాయి వెళ్తుంది, ఒక 24-25 ఉంటాయి ఆమెకి ఏజ్. ఆమె వెళ్తున్నప్పుడు ఆయన అబ్స్ట్రాకిల్ చేశాడు, లైక్ సంథింగ్ లైక్ ఆయన ఒక 33-34 ఉంటాడు. హీ సీమ్స్ లైక్ ఎ గుడ్ గాయ్, మంచి ఫార్మల్స్ వేసుకున్నాడు, నీట్గా గ్రూమింగ్ ఉంది, అంత మంచిగానే ఉన్నాడు. బట్ సమ్హౌ ఆయన ఆమెని ఆపడానికి ట్రై చేశాడు అండ్ ఆమె తప్పుకొని వచ్చేసింది. నేను పోతా నేను చూశాను కాబట్టి నేను ఆగుదాం అనుకున్నా అండ్ ఆగా కూడా. ఆగిన వెంటనే నేను వెనక్కి తిరిగి చూసా, అతను అబ్యూస్ చేసిన అతను వెనకాల ఉన్నాడు, అమ్మాయి ముందర ఉంది. అండ్ నేను వెనక్కి చూడగానే అమ్మాయి నన్ను చూసి అన్కంఫర్టబుల్ ఫీల్ అయింది. ఎందుకు అన్కంఫర్టబుల్ ఫీల్ అయిందంటే నేను కూడా అమ్మాయిని ఏమైనా చేయడానికి ఆగానేమో అని చెప్పేసి. దే డోంట్ నో దట్. ఆ టైంలో ఐ ఫెల్ట్ ఆక్వర్డ్, లైక్ నాకేం చేయాలో అర్థం కాలేదు. బట్ ఐ హ్యావ్ టు వెయిట్ దేర్, మళ్ళీ అతను వచ్చేసి ఏమైనా చేస్తాడా ఆర్ఎల్స్ ఏమైనా అంటాడా అని చెప్పేసి. సో నేనేం చేసా, నేనేదో ఫోన్ చూసుకుంటున్నట్టు అట్లా చూసా, అమ్మాయి వెళ్ళిపోయింది అండ్ అతనేమో అక్కడే ఉన్నాడు, అదే ప్లేస్లో అక్కడే నిలబెట్టుకున్నాడు. నేను వెంటనే అమ్మాయి వెనకాల పోయినా సరే అమ్మాయి మళ్ళీ ఏమనుకుంటుంది, నేను ఫాలో చేసినా అనుకుంటాడు. సో అమ్మాయిలకి తెలియదు, ఉమెన్కి తెలియదు ఎవరు గుడ్ మెన్ ఎవరు బ్యాడ్ మెన్ అని చెప్పేసి. ఇఫ్ ఎట్ ఆల్ ఇట్లాంటి అబ్యూస్ జరిగినప్పుడు ఆన్లైన్లో వాళ్ళు వచ్చి కన్ఫెస్ చేసినప్పుడు థింగ్స్ని ఫస్ట్ టేక్ అకౌంటబిలిటీ.
రైట్.
యాజ్ ఎ మెన్, నీ మెన్ ఏం చేస్తున్నారో అకౌంటబిలిటీ తీసుకో. అక్కడికి వచ్చి నాట్ ఆల్ మెన్ అంటే ఓకే నువ్వు మంచోడువే, నువ్వు ఎవరిని ఏం చేయలేదు, నీకు తెలుసు కదా అది. బట్ నీ తోటి మెన్ ఇట్లా అబ్యూస్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు డోంట్ యూ కాల్ అవుట్ దెమ్, డోంట్ యూ టేక్ అకౌంటబిలిటీ ఆన్ బిహాఫ్ ఆఫ్ దెమ్. కాల్ అవుట్ చెయ్యి, మాట్లాడు, నీకు జరిగిన దానికి సారీ, అలాంటి వాళ్ళని మనం ఏదో ఒకటి చేద్దామని చెప్పి స్టాండ్ తీసుకో. అప్పుడు అర్థమవుతుంది కదా అదే ఉమెన్కి, మాట్లాడుతున్న ఉమెన్కి, ఓకే దేర్ ఆర్ మెనీ మెన్ హూ ఆర్ సపోర్టింగ్ మీ హియర్ అని చెప్పేసి. బట్ నువ్వు వచ్చేసి నాట్ ఆల్ మెన్ అని పెట్టేస్తే ఓకే వీళ్ళకి నా ప్రాబ్లం కంటే, నాకు జరిగిన అబ్యూస్ కంటే, వాట్ ఎవర్ ద చైల్డ్హుడ్ ట్రామా ఐ హ్యావ్ గాన్ త్రూ, దీనికంటే కూడా మెన్ ఇమేజ్ని కాపాడమే వీళ్ళకి ముఖ్యం. సో ఏం జరిగినా సరే మెన్ మంచోళ్ళని చూపించుకోవడానికి వాళ్ళెవరో చేసిన దానికి మమ్మల్ని ఎందుకు అంటారో నేను మంచోడిని అవ్వదు.
ఇట్స్ వెరీ ఫైన్ పాయింట్.
యా, మనం మంచోళ్ళమే, అందరూ మంచోళ్ళే బయట పడినంత వరకు. అట్లా అని చెప్పేసి ఐఎమ్ నాట్ సేయింగ్ ఉమెన్ కూడా అంతా కరెక్ట్గా ఉన్నారని చెప్పేసి. ఉమెన్ కరెక్ట్గా లేరు, బట్ నువ్వు ఫస్ట్ మెన్ని చూసుకో. నీ మెన్ని నువ్వు కాల్అవుట్ చేసి మెన్ అంతా కరెక్ట్గా అయినాక అప్పుడు ఉమెన్ జోలికి వెళ్ళు. ఉమెన్ని ఉమెన్ కరెక్ట్ చేసుకుంటారు.
కరెక్ట్.
ఉమెన్ని కాల్అవుట్ చేయడానికి ఉమెన్ ఉన్నారు. మళ్ళీ నువ్వు మెన్ వచ్చేసి ఉమెన్ని కాల్అవుట్ చేసినప్పుడు ఇక్కడ జెండర్ వారే అవుతుంది తప్ప ఏమీ జరగట్లేదు. డిబేట్ జరుగుతుంది. వాట్ వీ వాంట్ ఇస్ డిస్కషన్. ఈగోస్ ఉండొద్దు, జెండర్ వార్స్ చేయొద్దు, సపోర్ట్ చేయండి ఎవరైతే అబ్యూజర్స్ ఉన్నారో. ఆల్సో ఆన్లైన్లో ఇట్లా కాల్అవుట్ చేసినప్పుడు వీ హ్యావ్ టు టేక్ స్టాండ్. జస్ట్ చూసి అట్లా ఇగ్నోర్ చేయడం కూడా అవ్వదు. ఆ కామెంట్స్లోకి వెళ్ళినప్పుడు నాట్ ఆల్ మెన్ అన్నప్పుడు కిందకు వచ్చేసి ఇంకొక మెన్ కూడా అవును బ్రో వీళ్ళంతా ఎంత ఎప్పుడు మెన్ పైన పడి ఏడుస్తుంటారు, మెన్ మీద వీళ్ళ కోపం, వీళ్ళు ఫెమినిస్ట్లు అని చెప్పుకొని మిసాండ్రీ చేస్తుంటారు. అరే ఎన్ని సంవత్సరాలుగా మిసాజనీ జరుగుతుంది, అసలు మిసాండ్రీ మీనింగ్ తెలియదు నీకు, ఫెమినిజం మీనింగ్ తెలియదు, యూ కాల్ దెమ్ మిసాండ్రిస్ట్ అని చెప్పేసి. వాళ్ళ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ వాళ్ళు చెప్పుకుంటున్నారు. టేక్ స్టాండ్ అట్లీస్ట్
షో సమ్ ఎంపథీ ఇఫ్ నథింగ్ ఎల్స్.
అట్లీస్ట్ వాడు ఎవరో కనుక్కోండి, మాట్లాడండి. నీ ఫ్రెండ్ సర్కిల్లో అట్లాంటి వాళ్ళు చాలామంది ఉన్నారు, నా ఫ్రెండ్ సర్కిల్లో అట్లాంటి వాళ్ళు చాలామంది ఉన్నారు. ఈవెన్ నేను బీటెక్లో ఉన్నంత వరకు నేను అట్లనే ఉన్నా, నేను అదే డైలమాలో ఉన్నా. అందరు మెన్ కాదు కదా, నేను మంచోడినే కదా, నేను బాగానే ఉన్నాను కదా, ఎందుకు ఇప్పుడు వీళ్ళంతా మెన్ అని పడుతుంటారని చెప్పేసి నేను బీటెక్లో అట్లే ఉన్నా. బట్ వాళ్ళ షూలోకి వెళ్ళి మనం నిల్చొని చూసినప్పుడే మనకు అర్థమవుతుంది. అండ్ మొరాలిటీ దగ్గరకు వచ్చేసరికి మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ది మెన్ కానీ మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ది ఉమెన్ కానీ హూ ఎవర్ ఇట్ ఈస్ వల్నరబుల్స్ దగ్గర నుంచే మొరాలిటీ ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తారు. అంటే ఒక రేపిస్ట్ని ఒక సర్వైవర్ వచ్చేసి కాల్అవుట్ చేసినా సరే, నాకు ఇట్లా రేప్ జరిగింది, వాళ్ళు నన్ను రేప్ చేశారు, నేను ఇప్పుడు కాల్అవుట్ చేస్తున్న వాళ్ళు అన్నప్పుడైనా సరే వీళ్ళు వచ్చేసి అతన్ని ఏమీ అనకూడదు, జస్ట్ నార్మల్గా మాట్లాడాలి. మంచిగా ఆయన గారు నన్ను రేప్ చేశారు అని చెప్పేసి చెప్పాలి. వాడు నన్ను రేప్ చేశారన్నా కానీ అంత పెద్ద నువ్వు వాడు అని ఎట్లా అంటారు. మొరాలిటీ అనేది ఇమ్మోరల్ పర్సన్స్కి నువ్వు చూపిస్తే యు ఆర్ ఆల్సో ఇమ్మోరల్. మొరాలిటీ షుడ్ బి సబ్జెక్టివ్ ఇన్ సమ్ కేసెస్. అందరికీ మొరాలిటీ చూపించద్దు, రేపిస్ట్లకి మొరాలిటీ చూపించద్దు, అబ్యూజర్స్కి మొరాలిటీ చూపించద్దు, బట్ సర్వైవర్స్కి చూపించండి. అదే అప్రెసర్స్ నుంచి, అదే అబ్యూజర్స్ నుంచి మొరాలిటీ ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేయండి, నాట్ ఫ్రమ్ ది వల్నరబుల్స్, నాట్ ఫ్రమ్ ది విక్టిమ్స్.
I think that's a very excellent point. It gives us a lot of food for thought to discuss, because what you said about silence being violent and morality is for whom? Is it for the victim or is it for the perpetrator? I think that's a very apt thing. So Sachin, can we have your thoughts on this?
So I just wanted to add one more point to this.
Yeah.
So when men say not all men, you again see it's the same men who don't let their girlfriends have male friends or won't let their like daughters go out after a certain time, because they believe all men are like problematic, right? So this is that big paradox that you have.
Yeah.
And when it comes to online spaces, like one thing, a lot of men don't think there is any consequence. So that is like the biggest problem for their behavior also.
Anonymity, actually.
Yeah,
Under the
anonymity.
cover of anonymity, people get away with anything.
Yes. So even when I make videos, a lot of times fake, like for example, if I make a video saying, okay, calling someone a woman or calling someone like derogatory slurs like hijra or kojja, this is wrong, there'll be comment under it calling me the same words. And a lot of people don't know this one thing about Instagram, that you can actually see who liked a certain comment.
Right.
So you see like hundreds of people liking that comment, and then you long tap that and you can see who liked it. You see both men and women
Right.
like liking those comments.
Right. Yeah, it's both actually. As I said, it's not just men. It's women who equally participate in all
Yeah,
this.
that's what, like when they think there's going to be anonymity or like
Yeah,
when there's
yeah.
not going to be any consequence, then yeah, when the people will definitely do it.
The police is watching, and that's something which people need to understand.
Yeah, and especially in boys group, what happens is like to be cool, you punch down on someone, or like you basically joke on someone who is
Yeah.
weak or who can't
Yeah.
speak for
Respond back.
themselves. Yeah, I have seen that not everyone in the group are actually comfortable with that,
Right.
but people don't speak up because they don't want to seem
Yes.
uncool to that. So like what people can do is just point out that there's nothing heroic in making fun of someone who can't
Absolutely.
like
Defend
defend
themselves.
themselves.
Yes.
Just it can be just a joke. You can point it out like humorously that there's nothing heroic or you're
Yeah.
not really
Yeah.
like accomplishing anything by doing this. Online, I think when the person is not in front of you, you kind of don't consider them as a real human being.
Yeah.
So that is also a reason you use whatever words you want. But if the person is in front of you, definitely won't be using those words.
Maybe a little kinder, a little
Yeah.
more, yeah.
So I think like whenever, even if you're not in a good mood or even if you're riled up, just take a pause and just like try to imagine if someone spoke those same words to you,
Yeah.
how would you feel? And like respond. So this is like one habit probably
Which we need to inculcate.
Yeah, we need to
Yeah.
inculcate.
So where do you see the biggest failures, dignity failures, as if we can call them, whether it's in private group chats, public comment sections, or is it gaming channels? Where are this, maximum abuse? Where does this happen? Or is it in workplace messaging groups?
I think like not workplace, so I'm not sure. Like there will be definitely consequences in that.
Right.
Private groups, definitely a lot of them.
Right.
Especially these Telegram groups, like where you have there's more anonymity.
Okay.
There's like a lot of misogyny in
Right.
that. But apart from that, you see this in like public comments also, but mostly from fake accounts. Like there's one difference between silent bystanders and someone who is enabling it by liking it.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing. It's actually worse than not saying anything.
Totally.
In my content, when there's like abusive comments, it's usually other women that defend me. But lately, I've also been seeing men.
Right.
So that is also like one good thing. One
What are the
positive.
things which people generally laugh at? What are the things which they make fun of? Anything and everything under the sun?
Usually, it's when people have like a certain idea about something. Like for example, it could be about like women not doing a certain thing.
Okay.
And when I kind of like break that thing, like for example, there are like videos of like certain celebrity comparing women with like a locked house or like wearing
Right.
helmet. When I try to break that thinking,
Right.
then like the first attack is not on basically like what I'm if I'm saying is right or wrong. It's basically the attack on me, calling me a girl or calling me a homosexual or calling me a performative feminist.
ఈ స్ట్రాంగ్ పేట్రియార్కల్ సిస్టంలో ఏమైపోయిందంటే మెన్ అంటే ప్రొవైడర్స్, ప్రొటెక్టర్స్ ఆర్ పర్పెట్రేటర్స్, ఈ మూడే. వీళ్ళు ఎంపథైజర్స్, దే ఆల్సో షుడ్ స్టాండ్ విత్ విమెన్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ వ్యూని కూడా అర్థం చేసుకొని వాళ్ళ షూస్లోకి వెళ్ళి మనం థింక్ చేయాలి అన్నది అసలు చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి నేర్పించట్లేదు. ఇంటి నుంచే స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది అది. మెన్ ఆర్ ఆల్వేస్ టోల్డ్ యువర్ ప్రొవైడర్స్, యువర్ ప్రొటెక్టర్స్. ఈ రెండు కాకపోతే యువర్ పర్పెట్రేటర్స్. అంటే యూ కెన్ అటాక్ దెమ్, యూ కెన్ వైలేట్ దేర్ ప్రైవసీ, యూ కెన్ డూ వాట్ ఎవర్ యూ వాంట్ బికాస్ యూ హ్యావ్ దట్ రైట్. సో ఇవి చెప్పి నేర్పుతున్నారు చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి. ఎయిదర్ డైరెక్ట్ గా చెప్తున్నారు లేకపోతే ఇండైరెక్ట్ గా చెప్తున్నారు. బట్ దే ఆర్ టోల్డ్ దట్ వే. అప్పుడు ఏమైపోతుందంటే ఇన్నేళ్లుగా నేర్చుకున్నది అన్లర్న్ చేయడం కష్టం వాళ్ళకి. ఏమైపోతుంది ఆన్లైన్లోకి వచ్చేసరికి, అరే ఇది కదా నేను నేర్చుకున్న చిన్నప్పటి నుంచి, ఇప్పుడు సడన్గా ఏంటి అమ్మాయి గురించి మాట్లాడు, అమ్మాయితో పాటు నిలబడు, అమ్మాయి ఏమన్నా చెప్తే వినిపించుకో, అమ్మాయి తరపున మాట్లాడు. హౌ డూ దే అన్లర్న్ దట్? ఐ థింక్ దట్ టేక్స్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ స్ట్రెంగ్త్, లైక్ వాట్ అజయ్ అండ్ సచిన్ ఆర్ డూయింగ్. ఇప్పుడు వీళ్ళు చేసేది తప్పు పడతారు, ఎందుకంటే మిగతా వాళ్ళందరికీ తెలియదు కదా,
వాళ్ళు నేర్చుకున్నది వేరే కదా,
వాళ్ళు నేర్చుకున్నది వేరే.
So what they're saying is something completely contrary to what they have learned. Their conditioning is challenging this. So, and you are in fact challenging their conditioning.
Yeah. సో వాళ్ళకి ఏంటంటే అవన్నీ చాలా అన్యూజువల్గా ఉంటాయి. ఏంటి నేను ఎన్నో ఏళ్ళుగా నేర్చుకున్న ఒక థాట్ ప్రాసెస్ని వీళ్ళేంటి వేరే చెప్తున్నారు అంటే వీళ్ళు తప్పు. సో నేను నేర్చుకున్న తప్పు కాదు, వీళ్ళు మాట్లాడేది తప్పు. సో దే ఆర్ నాట్ మెన్, దే ఆర్ నాట్ మెన్.
Lack of awareness.
Yeah.
And a lot of men genuinely believe that they are victims, because there are a lot of content creators who basically run this narrative that men are. So this comes from the West, I guess, like from certain content creators like Andrew Tate or that kind of. These are called red pill content creators. They basically put a narrative such that men are all victims and women have it very easy. So they've been seeing such content, like a lot of content, and such content also have like a lot of reach in general.
Right.
It's usually people who are into fitness and all. So these fitness influencers, in between they basically have this women degrading women or this kind of content, because mostly it's men who follow them.
Right.
So when they've like, that's just the only kind of content they saw. And when someone is challenging that, they kind of see it as an attack on them.
అండ్ అంతేకాకుండా ఇప్పుడు ఎంతసేపటికి అంటే పాయింట్ ఏదైతే పాయింట్ మాట్లాడుతున్నామో, పాయింట్ చెప్తున్నామో, దాన్ని పక్కకు తోసేసి జెండర్ ని వేరే వేరే వైపు వెళ్ళిపోతున్నారు.
Deflection is like a default thing in our digital space.
So Ajay and Sachin, both of you, can I ask you, how difficult is it to stand with her?
It's actually not difficult for us because see,
thank you for
Very nice.
why I said it's not difficult for us, because for us men to get abused, to get hated on online, we need opinions. If we are opinionated, we get abused, we get hated.
Anyone with an opinion.
Yeah. But for women, just for existing itself in words.
So true.
Excellent.
Just for existing.
Excellent.
So it's not extreme for us. It's just an average life of women online for us. So it's not extreme.
So how do you deal with this hatred, both of you?
Whenever some incel guy online call me a female or call me a trans, queer, whatever, I feel it like compliment than hated, because
That's a very positive way.
Women are not that criminal in myself. Like, who are the women in my area? Like in my surroundings, are the good people I saw. Most of my friends are women. My amma is a woman, and many people who taught me many things, even my favorite teacher in school, they are women. I lately realized all these things. Okay.
You did at least. Kudos to that.
I'd like to make a point here. I think that's such a brilliant point. Where if some people validate you and think that, you know, you and are giving very positive comments, and if you don't agree with those people, it's not a compliment. I would really say, oh my God, if this person is liking my post, there must be something wrong with me. And certain people's disapproval, I would take it as a badge of honor, because if this guy who's so awful and so disgusting and so corrosive in his thinking, if he is attacking me, maybe that's a badge of honor. Maybe I'm doing something right, right? So I think that's the mindset that we have to go with. That
Absolutely.
we will not get everybody's approval. This whole people pleasing nature is something that I think is very problematic as well.
And going to any extent for that.
And going to
Any extent for that.
and that's a very South Asian habit. We are people pleasers. We are conditioned to be that way. So it's very heartening to see that at least some of us have moved from that, and that is not something that matters to us.
Coming to Anasuya. Anasuya, you have been at the receiving end of a lot of online hatred, I would say, for a very long time. How have you dealt with it?
You know it, and Prema Garu knows it. And these two beautiful men here have been, I don't know them otherwise, but today is the first time I'm meeting them. And they have been silent supporters, not directly, addressing me, or it was not an individual support, but women in general. And it's been great. I have to tell you, I didn't get a chance. Of course, I keep responding to your content, but వీళ్ళు చేయడం స్టార్ట్ చేసిన తర్వాత నుంచి నాకు ఒక ఐ వాంట్ deny that ఏంటి అందరు ఇట్లా ఐఎమ్ మమ్ ఆఫ్ 2 boys and I was extremely paranoid about ఏంటి అబ్బాయిలంతా ఇంతేనా ఏంటిది అని the kind of the amount of hatred and the to the extent that it was going, I was like, and then these men came and they were like, no, when they can think like this, of course the others can. It's just lack of knowledge and there was no guidance. So what ma'am has raised, for me, digital dignity is very simple. If this person, if whatever you're typing or commenting, if you cannot say that to someone on face, then don't do it.
Right.
And in the name of it's just a joke, when you have to disclaim it like that, you already crossed the line.
Right.
It's already offended. You cannot. It's becoming very rampant. You're sensationalizing it and eventually normalizing it, which is what is happening now.
Yes.
Normalizing doesn't mean it is right. It only makes it common, and common can be wrong.
Yes, absolutely.
Whenever I meet people like Anasuya, I've known so many in the industry who've been experiencing such kind of backlash and horrible humiliation online. వాళ్ళని చూస్తున్నప్పుడల్లా నేను డైరెక్ట్గా పోస్ట్ చేయకపోవచ్చు, స్టోరీ పెట్టకపోవచ్చు, సపోర్ట్ చేయకపోవచ్చు ఆన్లైన్, బట్ ఐ కాల్ దెమ్ అండ్ మేక్ ఇట్ అ పాయింట్ దట్ దే గెట్ హెల్ప్. ఏదో రకంగా అది అంటే బికాస్ ఆఫ్ the privilege that I have, because of the connect that I have, whatever I can do
That's wonderful.
to preserve, protect, and at least help in some form. I have seen Anasuya suffer so much. I can't even tell in words. అంటే అనసూయ ఒక 2-3 months అయితే షీ వాజ్ లిటరలీ షాటర్డ్. ఆమె అనుభవించిన ట్రామా అసలు ఎవ్వరూ అనుభవించకూడదు. అంటే నోబడీ షుడ్ ఈవెన్ థింక్ ఆఫ్ ఈవెన్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్సింగ్ దట్. ఆ స్థాయిలో షీ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్డ్ ట్రామా. అండ్ చాలామంది ఏంటంటే ఈమెకు సపోర్ట్ చేస్తే ఏమవుతుందో ఒక భయం, కొంతమందికి సపోర్ట్ చేస్తే ఏమి యూజ్ ఉంటుంది అని ఒక భయం. ఇలాంటి వాళ్ళు చాలామంది సపోర్ట్ చేశారు, అదొక స్ట్రెంగ్త్ ఆమెకి. బట్ ఇవన్నీ జరుగుతున్నాయి. బట్ వాట్, వెన్ ఎవర్ ఐ సీ ఆల్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ యాజ్ అ జర్నలిస్ట్, ఇట్ రియలీ పెయిన్స్, ఇట్ రియలీ హర్ట్స్. బట్ ఐ యూజ్ ఇట్ యాజ్ అ ఐ రికగ్నైజ్ ఇట్ అండ్ నా ప్రివిలేజ్ని నేను వాడుకుంటున్నాను. ఐ వాంట్ టు బ్రింగ్ సమ్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ అ చేంజ్ within the social space as well as outside the social space by connecting them to the proper medium so that they get
Giving them
some
the right support. Bringing to them the right support.
Exactly.
And that's what we all need to do. Come together and see who are the people who are being trolled. And Anasuya is a celebrity, but there may be somebody else who is not a celebrity.
Right.
Silently hurting.
Silently hurting. And I'm sure there are people who have gone into depression, who really don't know how to come out of it because they don't know that they can go for help, even for depression. We, as educated people, we know, yes, there is help available. But how do we help these kind of people? And I've seen young 18, 19-year-old girls trolling a Tollywood actress and really calling her names and abusing her. And it's beyond our comprehension. Why are they doing it?
బాధ ఎక్కడేస్తుందంటే చారు గారు, ఇప్పుడు కొంతమంది తన్ని ట్రోల్ చేసేవాళ్ళు వాళ్ళ అబ్బాయిల ఏజ్ గ్రూప్ రియల్లీ అంటే నియర్లీ ఇంకొక 4-5 ఏళ్ళు ఉంటే వాళ్ళ అబ్బాయి ఏజ్ గ్రూపే. అటువంటి పిల్లలు ఒక అంటే రియల్లీ ఒక అక్క ఒక తల్లి ప్లేస్లో ఉన్న ఒక మనిషిని పట్టుకొని ఏది పడితే అది అనేయటం.
So why do you think this happens? And I mean, I'm trying to understand the mentality behind it, the mindset behind it. Age shaming is something, Anasuya, I really want you to talk about, please.
In my opinion, what I have comprehended over the years of experience that I've had from in the receiving end, it's not that I have had so much of digital teaching that happened to me. Atlage meer annattu early teenagers kuda that's what unfortunately that's what we've been teaching as a society and community, which like what Stand With Her is sloganizing is that if you delay stopping it now, you won't be able to stop. The delay will be much bigger to stop the
and
damage.
Too late to stop later.
Too late, exactly. Unfortunately, I will blame the media more than the public.
Okay.
I never understood how the transition happened. Breaking news has become breaking people's lives. There is definitely no ethical journalism. I'm really sorry, I'm not like, no offense to the real good ones because they won't take offense, but just because you have phones, you are allowed for freedom of speech and freedom of expression, that doesn't make you freedom from responsibility. That basic thing is not there. And then there is no responsible audience as well. Responsible consuming of the information is also lacking.
Right.
What I have observed to the question you've raised, ma'am, is that this whole obsession of age shaming a woman, it comes from a deep desire of a person to want a young woman, a young girl,
To only see a young girl on
a young
screen.
girl. These things have to be identified. They have to be told, you know, that what you're doing, you're just dismissing a woman that, okay, you are married now, you're not fit to be anything at all.
Right.
तुम घर में बैठो, నువ్వు ఇంట్లో కూర్చొని ఏంటి ఇప్పుడు ఇక్కడేం చేస్తున్నావు, నువ్వు అసలు పిల్లల్ని చూసుకోవట్లేదా, నువ్వు మీ ఆయనను చూసుకో, నువ్వు పిల్లల్ని చూసుకో, ఇక్కడ ఏం చేస్తున్నావు.
So moralizing from a very patriarchal position basically. And all these are patriarchal double standards.
That thing will eventually, these are the pedo perpetrators. You have to acknowledge that. They don't have that knowledge to identify the actual problem that they also belong to this society, which they are contributing towards this horrid things.
Right.
And I think why a lot of young men especially kind of use that language is because like when they see content creators with like 1 lakh or like 5 lakh followers, they don't like outright degrade women or like celebrities whenever like Chinmay Garu talks or whenever Anasuya Garu talks. They don't outright degrade, but it is close to that. They basically kind of shame them.
Right.
And when in the comments when others are degrading, they don't do anything about it.
Right.
And those have a lot of likes.
The bystander phenomenon.
Bystanders. And in some cases, it's the content creators who even like those.
Right.
So when young people see that, they think that is
It's an approval. It's endorsement.
And also they
normalization of that kind of culture.
And they feel like more in control. Like it's also kind of a way to control women. Like abusing them, trolling them.
Keep them on the track.
Yeah.
So in the name of protection, you forget respecting an individual. So in the name of protection, you're actually shaming, moral policing, the basic existence of being a woman. After I started calling out, the amount of hatred that was there out was so enormous that girls and boys equally were scared to come in support of me.
Right.
They were DMing me, like direct messages. The support was there, but through DMs. They were so scared that they will also face what I was facing.
Openly, they didn't want to do it.
Yes. So I wish the ratio was bigger. The calling out is so enormous that the trollers become small. It has to, the thing has to flip now. It's high time. You, by not calling out, by just watching what is happening, because you think that ye mujhe nanu anలేదు కదా, mujhe to nahi bola na, నేనేం చేయలేదు కదా.
No, not taking responsibility at
So
all.
what Ajay has said, silence is violence. You are silence. And in Telugulo kuda undi, maunam ardhangikaram kaadu, ippudu poortangikaramé. When you're not, we go through so many changes. I buy a certain dress, for example, I have this dress today and I wore it, and we have so much of hormonal things that go on. Now this dress today is not showing my cleavage, but it might when I am near periods. So these things, it makes me feel so conscious just to step out. Yes, like Prema Garu has mentioned, I acknowledge the kind of trauma I've been through, because more than the public, there is irresponsible media that has amplified things in such negative way. They have been saying just because it's on Instagram, it's out in public. No, the context really matters. I go on a holiday, I take a picture. That is not for you to redistribute. You have no right there. That's where digital consent comes.
చాలా మంది ఏం చేస్తారు, అది ఆల్రెడీ ఇన్స్టాగ్రామ్ లో ఉంది కదా, నేను ఓన్లీ ఫార్వర్డ్ చేశాను కదా, నేను క్రియేట్ చేయలేదు కదా. దట్ ఈస్ ఎన్ ఎక్స్క్యూజ్ అగైన్.
Exactly.
And again, this is a part of, digital disrespect.
Yeah, and when these digital bullies are silencing one woman, they are very intentionally also passing messages to others कि तुम्हारा भी यही हाल होगा
अगर तुम आओ. Exactly.
Yes, so that is the culture that they are creating.
That's why it's even
they're not targeting a single person.
Absolutely.
It's like, see, it's a performance, right? It's like putting your robe on, and so that is their intention, to scare everyone. They're not just going after her, they are saying, they're making a lesson out of her.
Yes.
That if any of you do any of this,
You
you're
will
going
face
to
the
face
same
the
consequences.
fate.
Again, it comes back to control.
మిమ్మల్ని ఐసోలేట్ చెయ్యరా, అది నా క్వశ్చన్. దీని కంటిన్యూషన్ అది, మిమ్మల్ని ఐసోలేట్ చెయ్యరా? మీరు ఇవన్నీ పెడుతున్నప్పుడు మీకు తోడుగా, లేకపోతే మీకు అంటే ఓకే వీఆర్ ఆల్సో విత్ యూ,
Like ఇప్పుడు నాకు తోడుగా మీరున్నారు, మీకు తోడుగా ఎవరున్నారు?
మీ ఫ్రెండ్స్ లో కానీ, మీ వర్క్ ప్లేస్ లో కానీ, do you have people who support you, your stand and what you do?
Yeah. At least in my case, I get a lot of support from my immediate
Glad to hear that.
colleagues, or like from my family,
Right.
cousins. And I mean, I get a lot of hate from like random men, mostly from fake accounts, but I also get a lot of appreciation from mostly women. And some of them even say things like, okay, it like this has been like life changing for me. I was in a very abusive relationship, and it took me like few of your videos to basically realize
nice.
what's wrong and get out of it. So
Very
it's
nice.
not like one or two, there were like many messages like
Right.
this.
Firstly, all the content I am talking about feminism is for men, not for women.
Acha.
But it's unfortunately
That's
going.
really wonderful to hear that.
So
Because all our videos are educative meant to tell women how to protect yourself.
బట్ అన్ఫార్చునేట్లీ నేను కిందకి వెళ్ళి రీచ్ రేషియో చూసినప్పుడు ఇట్ విల్ బి లైక్ 70% ఉమెన్. అరే నేను చేసింది ఇది మెన్ కోసం రా, మీరెందా ఎందుకు చూస్తున్నారు? లైక్ ఐ వాంట్ దీస్ వీడియోస్ టు గో టు మెన్ ఫీడ్. అప్పుడు వాళ్ళకి అర్థమవుతుంది, ఓకే నాకు హేటెడ్ వస్తుంది, అబ్యూజ్ వస్తుంది. ఎందుకంటే మెన్ ఆర్ ఆల్సో విక్టిమ్స్ ఆఫ్ పేట్రియార్కీ. దట్ వాళ్ళు ఆ విక్టిమ్ అంటే మెన్ ఎట్లా ఉన్నారంటే ఫస్ట్ నుంచి కూడా వాళ్ళు విక్టిమ్స్ అవ్వకూడదు, అంటే వాళ్ళు మోసపోయిన వాళ్ళు అవ్వకూడదు, వాళ్ళు ఎప్పుడు పై స్థాయిలోనే ఉండాలని చెప్పేసి వాళ్ళకి స్టాండర్డ్ సెట్ చేసుకున్నారు. వెన్ సమ్వన్ ఈస్ కమింగ్ అవుట్ ఫ్రమ్ దట్ అండ్ సేయింగ్ అరే యు ఆర్ ఆల్సో విక్టిమ్ అండ్ యు ఆర్ బికమింగ్ విక్టిమ్ బై కమిటింగ్ క్రైమ్స్ అలా అన్నప్పుడు దే ఆర్ నాట్ అక్నాలజింగ్ దట్.
ఐడెంటిఫికేషన్ లేదు,
దే ఆర్ నాట్ అక్నాలజింగ్ దట్. ఆల్సో ఇట్లా జరిగినప్పుడు నాకు సపోర్ట్ అంతా బయట నుంచే వస్తుంది మోస్ట్లీ. అండ్ ఫాలోవర్స్, ఉమెన్, స్ట్రేంజర్స్, అండ్ నా ఫ్రెండ్స్ గ్రూప్ ఉంది. 2 days నేను డిబేట్ చేశా. 6 members ఉంటాం గ్రూప్లో. 5 versus 1 దేర్ హ్యాపెండ్. 2 days డిబేట్ చేశా. ఐఎమ్ ప్రొవైడింగ్ ఆల్ ద స్టాట్స్, ఎవ్రీథింగ్. ఇట్లా ఉంది పరిస్థితి, ఇట్లా ఉంది పరిస్థితి అని చెప్పేసి. అండ్ దే వర్ లైక్ డిఫెండింగ్ మెన్. కాదు, మెన్ అండ్ ఉమెన్ ఆర్ ఈక్వల్లీ క్రిమినల్స్ అని చెప్పేసి వాళ్ళు అంటారు, ఈక్వల్లీ వైలెంట్ అని చెప్పి వాళ్ళు అంటారు. ఓకే, దే క్యాన్ బి ఈక్వల్లీ వైలెంట్, బట్ ప్రజెంట్ ఎవరున్నారు? మనం ఇప్పుడు దీన్ని నార్మలైజ్ చేయకూడదు కదా, మనం ఇప్పుడు కాల్అవుట్ చేయాలి కదా మెన్ని. అంటే నో, యూ షుడ్ టాక్ అబౌట్ ఉమెన్ క్రిమినల్ థింగ్స్ ఆల్సో అని చెప్పేసి వాళ్ళు నాకు అంటారు. అరే ఆల్రెడీ ఉమెన్ చేస్తున్న క్రిమినల్ థింగ్స్ గురించి అందరూ మాట్లాడుతున్నారు. మీడియా, narratives, కంటెంట్, ఎవ్రీథింగ్ ఈస్ కంట్రోల్డ్ బై మెన్ దేర్. వాళ్ళ నెరేటివ్సే పుష్ చేస్తున్నారు. ఎవ్రీ వన్ నోస్ లాస్ట్ 5 yearsలో 778 సంథింగ్ వైఫ్స్ హస్బెండ్స్ని చంపేశారని చెప్పేసి. బట్ అదే 5 yearsలో 7,000 ప్లస్ హస్బెండ్స్ వైఫ్స్ని చంపేశారు. నోబడీ నోస్ దట్. ఇది నీకు తెలుసు అని అడుగుతాను నేను. ఫస్ట్ తెలుసు అంటారు. ఐ మై సెల్ఫ్ సే ఇది చాలా క్రూయల్ కదా అని చెప్పేసి. అవును అంటారు. అండ్ దెన్ ఇది చెప్తా, 7,000 వైఫ్స్ని చంపేశారా అంటే అది ఎట్లా అవుతుంది, అది ఎట్లా అవ్వదు, ఎన్సీఆర్బి రికార్డ్స్ చేసుకోవట్లేదు డేటాని, ఎన్సీఆర్బి రాంగ్ ఇక్కడ అంటారు.
అంత కుళ్ళిపోయినట్టుగా నార్మలైజ్ అయిపోయింది. ద అబ్యూస్ అగేన్స్ట్ విమెన్ హ్యాస్ బీన్, it's alarming, the kind of sensationalizing of information. There is so much of information on digital space is that ఏది నిజమో ఏది అబద్ధమో తెలీదు. అండ్ వచ్చినవన్నీ నిజమని నమ్మేసుకుంటారు. అండ్ మోర్ దెన్ జాగ్రత్త పడే కంటే ఇలా కూడా చేయొచ్చా అనే అప్రోచ్ పెట్టుకున్నారు. ఇట్స్ రియలీ స్కేరీ మ్యామ్. లైక్ when you see like a minor committing a crime on a minor.
Yes.
There was like I'm talking about 3 months
Recently,
back.
yes.
3 months back, ek news maine padha, and then I was like, oh my god, I couldn't sleep over it for a couple of days. And then the third day se itne news dekhi main uske, itne. Either the media is wanting that, oh, this is what is attracting, this is the sensational news that people are wanting to watch, but they are underestimating the audience somewhere. Because there are people like us also. And that's what, like how ma'am has said, when these perpetrators or the trollers are passing a message to the rest, we also have to pass a message by saying that it's not going to be okay.
So here, when we talk about online humor also, what differentiates between online humor being respectful and online humor being very humiliating? How do we differentiate between that, and who usually is the target of such kind of humor?
For the first question, when you are also part of the laughing, that is joke. You all of
Okay.
you are all of you are laughing at it.
Okay.
But when you are laughing at somebody, that's where you cross the line.
That's very clear. Very
It's
clear.
very simple. That's what I'm saying.
And who is the target of such jokes usually? Online jokes. Is it both men and women?
Vulnerables, I can say.
Interesting.
Vulnerables.
Interesting.
Weaker section, ఎవరైనా సరే.
Right.
ఎప్పుడైతే వాళ్ళు రిటాలియేట్ అవ్వలేరు, వాళ్ళు మాట్లాడలేరు, లెట్స్ సే ఉమెన్ అండ్ దెన్ డిసేబుల్ పర్సన్స్ అండ్ దెన్ ట్రాన్స్ పీపుల్.
Right.
సి నిన్న మొన్నటి నుంచి సమైరైనా పీపుల్ ఆర్ ట్రీటింగ్ హిమ్ యాజ్ ఎ రెవల్యూషనరీ. పీపుల్ ఆర్ ట్రీటింగ్ హిమ్ లైక్ ఏ మార్టిర్, భగత్ సింగ్, కంపేరింగ్ హిమ్ టు భగత్ సింగ్, జస్ట్ బికాస్ ఆయన పైన ఒక 2-3 కేసెస్ పడ్డాయని చెప్పేసి, బికాస్ హీ మేడ్ సమ్ మిసోజనిస్టిక్ జోక్స్ ఆన్ ది స్టేజ్. సో ఓకే, కేసెస్ నాట్ మిసోజనిస్టిక్ ఆల్సో, పడ్డాయి. అండ్ హీ రిలీజ్ ద షో స్టిల్ అలైవ్ అని చెప్పేసి రీసెంట్లీ, ఆఫ్టర్ 3 or 4 months బ్యాక్, ఆఫ్టర్ స్టేయింగ్ కామ్ 3 to 4 months. And then people like now, all the jokes in his stand-up comedy or in his show will be mostly about women, misogynistic jokes, on disabled persons, on trans people. ఇట్లానే ఉంటాయి. అండ్ పీపుల్ ఆర్ కంపేరింగ్ హిమ్ టు భగత్ సింగ్, రెవల్యూషనరీ, బికాస్ గవర్నమెంట్ వాంటెడ్ హిమ్ టు షట్ అప్, బికాస్ గవర్నమెంట్ ఆయన మీద కేసు వేసింది అని చెప్పేసి. నో, యూ షుడ్ నాట్ ట్రీట్ దెమ్ లైక్ దాట్. ఈవెన్ ఉమెన్ ఆర్ ట్రీటింగ్ హిమ్ లైక్ దాట్. జస్ట్ బికాస్ అందులో హీ షోడ్ సమ్ ఎమోషన్స్. ఏడ్చాడు స్టేజ్ పైన, అంటే మా అమ్మ నాకు మంచి సపోర్ట్ ఇచ్చింది ఇలాంటి టైంలో అన్నాడు. అఫ్ కోర్స్ ఏ అమ్మాయినా తన కొడుకు సపోర్ట్ ఇస్తుంది, బట్ అట్లా అని చెప్పేసి నువ్వు చేసినవన్నీ కరెక్ట్ అయిపోవు. ఈ ఎమోషన్స్ వల్ల ఇది వైరల్ అవుతుంది లాస్ట్ 2-3 days నుంచి. ఎందుకు రెవల్యూషనరీ చేశారో నాకు అర్థం కాలేదు. అరే నువ్వు ఎప్పుడు దళిత్స్ కోసం నిలబడలే, ఎప్పుడు ఉమెన్ కోసం నిలబడలే, ఎప్పుడు రియల్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ గురించి మాట్లాడలే, అండ్ నువ్వు వచ్చేసి ఇప్పుడు నేను రెవల్యూషనరీ చేస్తున్నా అన్నట్లు షో చేస్తున్నావు. Nobody is talking about this also.
I just want to ask a question to
Asiya.
Asiya. You know, these posh committees evate unnayo, generally they are in the corporates or in the, these spaces, official spaces. Posh committees, are they also existing online? I think posh committees should be there even online. because online presence is like going bigger and bigger and bigger, and it is like creating very unhealthy atmosphere, especially for women.
Prema, here just before Asiya answers, like Posh committee is meant for workplace, and
Yes.
Asiya will just explain that to you
Yeah.
in a minute.
Yeah.
For online harassment, there are clear laws, and the police watches online harassment very closely. They
Okay.
watch all the platforms, and there have been a spate of cases in the recent past where such online abusers have been taken to task, cases have been booked against them, notices have been issued to them. They are accountable for what they are doing.
Definitely. In fact, in the last 10 years or so, several most of the Posh cases that we have investigated have a digital component
my
to
God.
it. So in today's age, how would harassment happen? It would happen through WhatsApp messages, and then they're very clever things because now you have disappearing messages, right? So before somebody can take a screenshot, that particular message or that image has gone. So yes, the WhatsApp component and the social media component, sort of stalking colleagues on social media, texting them when post 11 p.m. at night when you're drunk, talking nonsense, and then next day at work saying, "Oh, I hope you didn't mind. I was a little high when I messaged you." Absolutely, and using social media to stalk and then to invite and to befriend. And I'm not just talking about simple befriending. There is, I think, the words stalker and predator are very aptly used. It's literally a game. Like you find a younger colleague who you want to
Yeah,
subjugate,
who you
not who you
desire.
like.
Who you
Right?
desire.
It's not about love or like
Yeah.
at all. Right? And then you find out that you know any of her classmates who also happen to be your colleague, and then
It's
you
so
sort
scary
of
even when you're narrating it.
it is very scary even when you're investigating it, and so then they will say, okay, invite her over and we'll jam together. So I'm talking about gaming companies, IT companies. This is hip cool crowd, right? So let's invite her over for jamming, and then we'll spike her drink, and then we will do this, we will do that. There is a lot of lot of abuse using apps like Tinder. So, feminists of my generation fought for all sorts of freedom for women, including sexual freedom. And we said, let them now decide who they want to be with. And little did we realize that if your mansikta, if your mindset is sick, then nothing can actually help. So now they're using these apps to get a girl to come over, and then they're telling other male friends, the bro culture, you also land up and we will gang rape her. So this is how the dating apps are being misused. Right? So I think we just have to create a society which is very, very aware. And yes, workplace sexual harassment investigations have a very strong online component,
But-
and that has to be looked into. And very often Posh committees have to work in collaboration with the cyber cells and with the police.
So I was just about to ask you that question. Now, how do the women who are actually facing all such kind of atrocities online, or such kind of abuse, if they have to approach the Posh committees and through them to the cybercrime, or the kind of connection, how do they know? Where should they go?
In
Whom should they
Telangana,
approach?
we have the Women's Safety Wing, right?
Okay.
So we have the Women's Safety Wing headquarters at Lakdi Ka Pul. Now we have a Posh cell there. Any woman can either walk in, she can phone, she can WhatsApp, or she can mail. If she needs any advice about any situation which she is facing at workplace. It can be even either a problem with the internal committee itself, which may not be listening to the woman, because the boss is the super boss who is even above the internal committee. It may be the non-formation of an internal committee. So they're all welcome to actually approach the Women's Safety Wing Posh cell and take the guidance that they need, and we'll be happy to do the hand-holding for them.
See, many
Here-
people don't know this. Ajay, do
Yes.
you know? Ajay and Sachin, do you know about
I
this?
also didn't know
See.
about this.
So Ajay and Sachin, just one quick question: in all the male group cultures, basically, what keeps disrespect alive? Is it peer pressure? Is it status? Is it the kind of laughs which people get and it gives them a kick, or is it fear of being a killjoy?
Yeah, I think combination of everything.
Okay.
Like firstly, they don't want to be, they don't want to come across as like, who is a killjoy or who doesn't,
Yeah.
like who's like old fashioned.
Cool. They still want to be cool.
They want to come across as cool or
Yeah.
like dank
Yeah.
or like with dark humor. And in a lot of cases, even when they are uncomfortable, that is the exact reason they don't really say anything about it. And I have seen, especially in like my circles, I've worked at like different organizations or like different cities. So whenever there is only men's group,
Right.
this is very common. Like making fun of women is very common. But even if there is like one or two women in the group, this doesn't happen at all. So the dynamics completely change if there is only men.
Yeah.
So like one thing like that can stop this is diversity. Like having like all genders
Yeah.
in a group will definitely reduce this.
It's a good one, yeah. When men have their own groups and
They
boys
don't
clubs
allow
and they
women
want
to
to
get into
hang
the
out, when they want to hang out in the evening, they don't allow,
They don't
call or invite women to be a part of it.
Actually, it starts from schooling, ma'am. Schooling nunche women and men madhya
Segregate
friendship ni we
చేసేస్తారు.
should normalize. నా బీటెక్ కాలేజ్లో గురించి నేను చెప్తాను. మై హెచ్ఓడి డజంట్ వాంట్ అస్ టు డూ ఫ్రెండ్షిప్ విత్ ఉమెన్. అట్లీస్ట్ కాలేజ్లో ఉమెన్ అండ్ మెన్ మాట్లాడుకోవడానికి లేదు.
Adding to that, na school lo, we were forced to call each other brother and sister. We were forced.
Yes. In a convent recently, we came across the girls wanted to talk to let's say some boys who were coming from outside to teach and all that. So these girls were considered bad by the teachers for wanting to talk to the guys.
But on the contrary, in the school that I studied, it's like 1:10. There were 4 girls and 40 boys, and we were all told to talk to each other, be friends with each
HPS.
other. HPS. So that's a school.
Prema, I think you make a very
Important
point because even I've noticed that there's actually a regression from the time that I was going to school. Some of these things were just not there. Like this rape ideation so young when you're just 13, 14 years old, teaching girls a lesson. This was just not there. And we grew up and we were comfortable being ugly. We had pimples and we had such close friendship with boys. And now this exacting standards of beauty, this, I think there's clearly a regression which is very sad to see because one would normally think that and one would expect that every generation would be an improvement on the previous generation, not making things worse.
Can we say this is because of the internet and online spaces?
Like during my college or something, this was not the case
there.
at all. It's been happening only now, probably in the last like 5-10 years.
5-10 years.
देखने के लिए तो हम लोग आगे बढ़ रहे हैं, but I don't think so. I
It was
would
not
say
like that
that
earlier.
to add on to Ajay, Kada, I will have to say that it has to start from home, Ajay. ఇంట్లో అమ్మ నార్మల్గా ఇఫ్ ఒక కొడుకు కూతురు ఉన్నప్పుడు అప్బ్రింగింగ్ కొడుకుకు ఒకలాగా ఉంటుంది, కూతురుకు ఒకలాగా ఉంటుంది. That should not happen.
In fact, the comedian he was talking about, who felt that his mother is supporting him, it would have been nice if she had actually called out and said that what you're doing is not right.
It didn't happen in my case also. I would not want to deflect the topic, but it so happened when I have raised an alarm about how there is no stage decorum during one of the film's thing. It was, the mother was right there applauding. And it felt, I on the other hand, being a mother, it was not directed to me, but एक औरत को यूज करे बिना गाली भी नहीं निकलती है इन लोगों को.
Yes.
And then I was not okay with it. I'm a mother and you cannot normalize it. हम लोग तो ऐसे ही बोलते हैं. I had actually tried to have a conversation with this particular hero and first wanted to say that next time you get a stage or an opportunity, please say that you got carried away with the euphoria that was around. But please say you didn't mean to glorify it, not normalize it.
Right.
It didn't happen. And I wanted to address what you have also told, ma'am, that ये जो disappearing messages का है ना, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई विल वार्न एवरीबडी, ऐसा कोई भी अपना चैट में खोला तो उसको अवॉइड करो तुम. व्हाट इज दैट इंटेंशन? व्हाई डू यू वांट टू गो बैक टू व्हाट यू सेड? व्हाट इज दैट? I have done it myself. When there is Instagram, maybe hai, that disappearing messages on WhatsApp is also there. And then there were so many colleagues in my workspace who say, why don't you come on Snapchat? I'm like, what is the Snapchat? They said that akada, it is only there for 24 hours. I'm like, this lack of accountability is
Yes.
glorified so much.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with this.
Yeah.
There has to be individual responsibility. Now, whatever I'm typing, what is my intention towards it? Now, would I say this to somebody I love? Would I say this in person when I see her or him? So you be conscious and aware first. Second thing, bystanding thing is the most harmful, I would say injurious
Yes.
mentally.
Yes. Yes.
You are actually, I have been through first hand experience. అరే ఇంతమంది ఇంత అంటున్నారు, పక్క వాళ్ళు ఏంటి ఏమనట్లేదు, అది వాళ్ళు చూస్తున్నారేంటి?
It's there in all spaces in the country. It's whether it's online space, whether it's transportation, everywhere. Girls will be misbehaved with right in front of you. Online is the very invisible space. But in buses, etc., groping, flashing happens and the guys just keep quiet.
That happen. So I would say that ये इससे पहले maybe था, but इतना नहीं था. Now all these things online will lead to that.
Yes.
क्या कर सकेंगे देखेंगे.
Imagine a man after having experienced how easy it is online to target somebody, enters a bus and he feels he can actually touch any girl in the bus. Where does this sense of entitlement and where does this mindset come from? Of course, he may be online, he may not be online, that's a different matter. So then coming to this question, what responsibility do men have when they are not the main actor or creator of a joke or a meme or a humiliating forward, etc., etc.? What responsibility do they have? How can they curtail that? Is it just by exiting?
మాకు ఫస్ట్ అది రాంగ్ థింగ్ రైట్ థింగ్ అని తెలుసుకోవడానికి తెలియదు ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ మా వాళ్ళకి.
నేను అనుకుంటున్నా మీకు తెలుస్తుందని.
లేదు, వాళ్ళకి రాంగ్ థింగ్ రైట్ థింగ్ ఏదో తెలియదు. సో వాళ్ళు రాంగ్ థింగ్ కూడా రైట్ థింగ్ అనుకుని దే గ్లోరిఫై దాట్ అండ్ ఇది నార్మలే కదా అని చెప్పేసి అట్లా స్క్రోల్ చేసేసారు. ఫస్ట్లీ
అదే చెప్తారు కదా,
They don't know better actually.
They don't know better. They are not taught.
Yeah.
So they think that is right. That is what is happening. No, actually, before you answer the question, I have one question to both of you. Meeku chinnappa nunchi you were having this kind of a thought process that empathizing or understanding the women's perspective.
How did you understand that
when did you
what
get
is
to
the
know?
usual norm is actually not right?
Yeah.
I myself is a vulnerable. I am a Dalit.
Right.
I face discrimination like subtly
From the
because
beginning, huh?
in 2020 I am in 20th century. I have empathy చిన్నప్పటి నుంచే ఉంది.
Yeah.
ఓకే, బట్ నేను మిసాజినిస్టిక్ ఉండే, మేబీ ఇప్పుడు కూడా అయి ఉండొచ్చు. ఐఎమ్ స్టిల్ లెర్నింగ్ గైస్. నేను ఇంకా పర్ఫెక్ట్ అని చెప్పలేను. ఐఎమ్ స్టిల్
I have to say,
Thank you. Yeah.
it's not easy to
To admit that
and vulnerability is the power. You have proved it.
yes, I'm still unlearning. When I started content creation, I started to fight casteism, to talk about anti-casteism, to talk about Ambedkar principles, Ambedkar ideology. And then I came through one profile which is from Tamil Nadu. She was calling out some rapper from Malayalam industry. And then we got into debate, not discussion. మంచిగా ఉండేదేమో మేము డిస్కషన్ చేస్తుంటే, బట్ ఇట్ వెంట్ యాజ్ ఏ డిబేట్. అప్పుడు ఐ సెడ్ లైక్ ఐ టుక్ స్టాండ్ ఫర్ మెన్. అప్పుడు 2 days ఐ డిబేటెడ్, మెన్ స్టాండే తీసుకున్నా.
Okay.
I said like women and men are both equally violent. You should not solely take support for women. Judgment rakamunda, you should not decide kada. You are not court. You are not. I was like that. I was talking law and principles instead of humanity and morality. Appudu 2 days we mem debate చేస్తున్నాను మనం 2 days. 2 days తర్వాత she removed me from followers list. వదిలేసింది. And then another guy from Sri Lanka he texted me. He's also Sri Lankan Tamil. ఆయన నాకు టెక్స్ట్ చేసి, బ్రో యూ టాక్ మంచిగా మాట్లాడుతావు అన్నింటి గురించి, బట్ ఇక్కడ ఎందుకు ఏమైంది నీకు అని చెప్పేసి హీ ఆల్సో ట్రై టు ఎక్స్ప్లెయిన్ విత్ థింగ్స్. బట్ నేను అప్పుడు అడ్మిట్ చేసుకోలేదు బికాస్ నేను అప్పుడు నన్ను నేను డిఫెండ్ చేసుకోవడానికి ఉన్నా, బికాస్ ఐఎమ్ నాట్ రాంగ్ అని చెప్పేసి చెప్పడానికి. ఆయన కూడా గివప్ ఇచ్చేసాడు నా పైన, ఈడు మారాడు వదిలేసేద్దాం ఏంటి అని చెప్పేసి. 2 days తర్వాత నేను ఎందుకు వీళ్ళు నాతో డిసెంగేజ్ అయ్యారు అని చెప్పేసి నేను మళ్ళీ చదివా నీట్గా. ఎట్లా చదివా అప్పుడు? నాట్ ఎస్ ఎ డిబేట్, థర్డ్ పర్సన్ లాగా చదివా.
I do this
ఓకే,
too.
థర్డ్ పర్సన్ లాగా
Lovely
చదివా.
thing.
అప్పుడు ఐ గాట్ టు నో వాట్ ఈస్ ఫ్యాక్ట్, వాట్ ఈస్ స్టాట్స్, ఏం జరుగుతుంది దేశంలో, ఉమెన్ ఎంత వల్నరబుల్ ఉన్నారని చెప్పేసి. దెన్ నేను ఆ అమ్మాయికి ఎవరైతే ఉన్నారో ఆమెకి నేను మెసేజ్ చేశా, సారీ నేను ఇప్పుడు రియలైజ్ అయ్యా అని చెప్పేసి.
Wonderful.
అండ్ ఐ ఫాలోడ్ రామ్ అగైన్ ఫ్రమ్ శ్రీలంక. ఐఎమ్ గ్లాడ్ ఐఎమ్ ఫ్రెండ్స్ విత్ రామ్ నౌ. లైక్ ఆయనే నాకు ఫెమినిజం గురించి అవేర్నెస్ ఇచ్చారు. హీస్ జస్ట్ 23-24 అంతే నాలాగే, బట్ హీస్ ఫ్రమ్ శ్రీలంక.
I'm so proud of you boys. That's great.
ఆయన నాకు అవేర్నెస్ ఇచ్చాడు దీని మీద. అప్పటి నుంచి ఐ స్టార్టెడ్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ దీస్ థింగ్స్ ఆల్సో.
Right.
He just started some 4 years back, 4-5 years back. 2020 you were saying, no?
About content creation.
No, the transition. Your transition.
10 months, 11 months, I can say.
What? And in
Wonderful.
10 months he's a pro now.
So his entire perspective has changed probably, right?
Yes,
The
yes,
way
yes.
you look at things, the way you look at this entire gender dynamics has changed.
It actually doesn't take much to actually flip everything.
Yes.
In my case at least, so I think I'm just lucky to be in certain spaces where I was friends with sociologists
Right.
and people who've done like gender studies.
Okay.
So I used to work as a screenwriter before.
Okay.
And I had this one homophobic joke in my comedy sketch that I wrote. It was funny for me when I narrated in the for writers' room. Also everyone laughed. It got like good like response in general, good
Right,
views for the
right.
video. And when my friend saw this, she pointed out why that is problematic. I mean, I didn't dismiss it entirely back then, but that is kind of like the starting point for me to basically understand what privilege means.
Right.
So that is when I started learning what gender privilege is, what is caste privilege is, what privilege in general is.
Right.
So that for me it has been a very long journey.
Yeah.
But till college, even I was someone who thought, okay, men are victims of victims of the society.
Yeah. Yes. Anasuya, is there anything else which you would like to tell us about these platforms, various platforms, and the features in the platforms which enable this kind of online abuse?
Ek to the disappearing thing you have to put these are like red flags, and these are the warnings.
Why should you switch on disappearing messages if you're not posting any?
Exactly. If you don't have an intent to responsibility and accountability,
Yeah.
why would you even need
Yeah.
to make
Absolutely.
whatever you said disappear?
Yeah.
And these things are like, they are on your face, but you tend to normalize it.
Absolutely.
You have to be self-aware,
And accountable.
Even I'm talking about ma'am ne bataya that this so and so boss has done it, and you have to know, you have to be aware what is the intent behind these gestures.
Right.
Okay, and then deal things accordingly.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I can use this term, because that's how the Instagram says public figure. They literally take it public figure matlab you are ours too. Yeah, you are at our disclosure. No, my intent matters, my context matters. I go on a holiday,
Your consent matters.
my consent definitely matters. I go on a holiday, I take pictures with my son, I take pictures in a bikini.
Yeah.
It's the holiday
Yeah.
so for me it's like a memory book. I use it like that, and I share it with my people. I use it to empower women
Right.
to work, and also work-life balance, not just women, anybody for that
Sure.
matter. So I have these intentions, but on the other hand, there are certain individuals or digital platforms, and unfortunately big media houses also who
Pick that up and
yes, because you know what was the reason they gave me, ma'am, that आप ही ने तो खुल्लम खुल्ला छोड़ दिया था. But I said that was not my context.
right.
You can't use my pictures
Right.
and disrespectfully use it for your entertainment and debates. I am not a public discussion property.
Right.
That's where my digital consent definitely matters. That's where digital empathy also comes into
Yes.
place. How will
Yes.
I feel? How will my family feel?
Yeah.
Without there is somebody in my family who is not part of this exposure that I have.
Yeah. How would they feel about
Feel
it?
about it.
Yeah.
Be empathetic. That's digital empathy.
So posting photos forwarding screenshots.
Screenshots,
And then
tagging you
Tagging
to
you.
insult you
Yeah.
into something that makes
Yeah.
you flinch or
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
cringe.
You cannot.
Yeah, adding people to groups, sharing phone numbers. In fact, we've had cases where, let's say, a couple is estranged and they're on the verge of separation. The husband actually puts the wife's and mother-in-law's number on a website for dating or for escort services.
What kind of getting back is that?
So it's all this is only a reflection of the mindset and the perversion which is going around now.
That he can do it.
That he can do it. So far, in fact, sometimes I think it's an advantage. We're actually getting to see online the level of perversion in our society. Earlier, this was all wrapped up. Asiya?
I've been thinking about this for the last 10-15 minutes. It's not that all this has increased. I don't know
It
where
was
all of you
always there.
grew up. I grew up in Delhi.
Yeah.
And the first time that a stranger opened his zipper and flashed at me, I think I was 11 or 12 years old, right? Then when I became 18, 19 and I started traveling by DTC buses, my God, it was...
Bad.
In fact, the gift that I received from my sister when I started going to college was knuckle dusters, which looks like, jewelry, but is little, so just hit
somebody with
on the
it.
bus. So people often ask me, how are you so tough? So there's a positive side to this sort of abuse as well, because it makes you into... I don't know, that also takes its emotional toll. I'm sure
Yeah.
you don't want to.
We used to
be
carry
this,
safety pins in buses to navigate each day.
to navigate, to push,
Yes.
to elbow, to look angry, and
Yes.
I met this guy once. He said, I really wanted to talk to you when we used to travel together, but you looked so scary because you were like, any man come near me and I'm going to whack the shit out of you. So sometimes you lose out on very good friendships because of that very,
Side of the coin,
very
yeah.
aggressive stance that you are forced to take on just for survival and protection. So I don't think this has increased. I don't know why I'm feeling that we are becoming weaker and weaker and just pushing ourselves into depression. So I think we need to also talk about that. Let's not get depressed and sad about these things to the extent that we let this happen even more to us. Right? Let's not leave those digital spaces. Let's argue, let's fight, and let's stay there. Men would love it if we resign. I mean, the patriarchal men, the corrosive men, they would love it. And the corrosive women, they would love it if we just gave up and said, "Main to ja rahi hu, main to resign kar rahi hu." That's what they want.
Yeah.
They want it to be that singular, my kind of people, so that we can crack any
It's a
kind
victory.
of joke.
It's a victory
Yeah,
for
it's
them.
a victory. And we think that, my God, hum agar leave karenge, to people will come running after us, begging us to join back. No. It's not going to happen.
I have been through that phase, but as a process. But of course, I had great women with
my
me.
advice would be stay and fight and collaborate
Undi sadhinchal.
and find your gang and find your group and speak
Of
together,
course, yeah.
because there's healing in that. I think that should be the way forward.
When negativity can get so much of support,
Amplified.
why can't positivity?
That's
get-
what I mean.
We need to find our own tribe. We need
Yes.
to find our own groups. We need to, build communities. We need to get up that solidarity.
And we
all
need
of
to
these-
reach a tipping point.
Exactly. Then positivity also will gain a lot of.
That's what I meant,
And-
flipping
Yes,
off.
flipping.
Yeah.
And all of you have got back memories of those DTC experiences. When one man was misbehaving with you on a bus, let's say, everybody else was just looking
Standing.
out of the window.
Bystander.
No, I'm like trying to say, hey, this guy is like grabbing me, he's pulling me, he's hitting me. And everybody is like, they look at him and they turn away. So I think that is the scary thing.
Yeah.
Right? That is the scary thing. That is what is giving this person power. Because if even one person had stood up on that bus, right, it would change the dynamics.
For me,
and they call themselves as protectors.
They call themselves.
that's what I said. Protection పేరుతో control చేయడము, protection పేరుతో
And once or
disrespect
twice, it's
చేయడము.
been the youngest and the weakest of boys who has stood up there. Didi, I'm holding this guy, you go stop the bus. And then later you make friends with that guy and he's actually the weakest. He's like this 40 kg young kid who is like, he's not become...
So, if there were any 3 things which y'all would like to tell the online audience, what would it be?
Like one main thing that I would want everyone to know is like whenever you're talking to people, like comments mein gaani, even in DMs, just pause for a bit and understand, like, would you want to say the same thing to yourself? Because the conversation, if it's getting a little heated up or like you're getting a little riled up, there is still no need to use abuses or like, don't try to attack the person if you don't agree with a certain point.
Attack the opinion.
Yeah,
if you
attack the
want to.
opinion and do not attack the person.
Right.
And especially if you have a fake account, you feel entitled because you
Yes.
think there's no consequence to it.
No accountability.
Yeah, and it can actually, I mean, the person who is at the end, like taking end of it, you
Receiving
don't know actually how they would take it,
Yeah.
how much they would suffer.
Yeah.
Like initially, even it was like really hard for me initially
Yeah.
when I was getting like outright abuses. Now I'm kind of like used to it, and also I hear stories of like women who like without doing anything, they get these follow requests. If they don't take those requests, there's like abuses under it. There is one woman that sent me screenshots of like all the requests that she got because she wanted me to make a video on it. She sent me some 27 just from like one woman. So imagine if I asked people to send requests, I would probably get like hundreds.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to tell anything to women here, like women 30 days ఇవి చేయండి అని చెప్పేసి all the time we are policing women only. So I want to tell to men,
Right.
the so-called protectors of women, మీకోసమే. Yeah, firstly, no is a no.
Yeah.
అది ఏ కాంటెక్స్లో అయినా సరే
Yeah.
వాళ్ళు నో చెప్పారంటే జస్ట్ అట్లా వదిలేసేయండి, ఇంకా వెళ్ళొద్దు అటు సైడ్. ఒకవేళ వాళ్ళు ఇదంతా మూవీస్ నుంచే వస్తుంది అగైన్ స్టాకింగ్ కానీ
I was
Yeah.
waiting someone
Yes.
brings this up.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Unfortunately.
Again,
If I do it, it comes across something else. Please.
అంటే నో అంటే ఎస్ అని చెప్పేసి ఎవరు చెప్పారు నో అంటే ఎస్ అని చెప్పేసి
Yeah.
అంటే ఎస్ అంటే నో అన్న
Yeah.
మీకు
Yeah.
నచ్చినట్టు మీరు డెఫినేషన్స్ మార్చేసుకుంటున్నారు అంతే.
Yeah.
ఇట్స్ నాట్ దట్ నో మీన్స్ నో.
Yeah.
అంటే నో మీన్స్ నో అని చెప్పడానికి కూడా ఒకటి సెంటెన్స్ కావాలి. నో మీన్స్ నో అని చెప్పేసి నో మీన్స్ నో అంటే నో కదా. చాలా బేసిక్ ఇది.
Yes.
నో అన్నప్పుడు నో గమనండి. అండ్
Respect that.
అండ్ సెకండ్ థింగ్ ఈజ్ ఒపీనియన్స్ షేర్ చేసినప్పుడు
Right.
ఇట్స్ జస్ట్ ఒపీనియన్. అండ్ కామెంట్స్లోకి వచ్చేసి అంటే నువ్వు ఇది చెప్తున్నావు అంటే నువ్వు కరెక్ట్ అని చెప్పేసి, నువ్వు ఆల్వేస్ కరెక్ట్ కాదు అని చెప్పేసి, నో బడీ సేయింగ్ మేము ఆల్వేస్ కరెక్ట్ అని చెప్పేసి. మేము ఇక్కడ కరెక్ట్ అయి ఉండొచ్చు, కరెక్ట్ కాకపోయి ఉండొచ్చు, బట్ మేము చెప్తున్నాం ఒపీనియన్ ఒకటి. వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ త్రూ దిస్.
Right.
సో నీకు ఇది ఎక్కడైనా తప్పు అనిపిస్తే సిస్టర్, బ్రో, ఫ్రెండ్, ఇది ఇట్లా కాదు ఇట్లా ఉంటుంది అని చెప్పేసి నీ ఒపీనియన్ కూడా షేర్ చేయ అంతే. డోంట్ అబ్యూస్.
Abuse, or they jump to the character, they jump to the age, they jump to the personal life, they
Yeah.
jump to the personality, and then they abuse the whole person.
జస్ట్ ఒక కాసేపు
Not
ఆగండి.
just the person, their parents.
The parents.
And the husband, because he's not controlling the woman.
Yes. Yes.
జస్ట్ కాసేపు ఆగి ఆలోచించి, ఒకవేళ నీ ముందర ఇట్లా నేను మాట్లాడితే నువ్వు ఎట్లా రియాక్ట్ అవుతావు? నేను నీకు నా ఒపీనియన్ షేర్ చేశాను నీ ముందర కూర్చొని, నువ్వు ఎట్లా నాకు రియాక్ట్ అవుతావు? అట్లా కాదు బ్రో, నాకు ఇట్లా అనిపిస్తుంది అని చెప్తావు. కానీ నువ్వు నన్ను ఎల్ వర్డ్తోనో
Label చేయవు.
ఇంకొక వర్డ్తోనో పిలిచి అప్పుడు నన్ను మాట్లాడు. నాకు ఒక పేరు ఉంది, అజయ్, దిస్ ఇస్ నాట్ దిస్, దిస్ షుడ్ బి దిస్, దిస్ క్యాన్ బి దిస్ అని మాట్లాడు.
So online existence is nothing different from physical existence.
yeah.
Adi ravali.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
అది. అండ్ ద థర్డ్ థింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ మై సైడ్ ఈస్ లిజన్. ఇది ఆఫ్లైన్ కానీ ఆన్లైన్ కానీ ఏదైనా సరే, ఎవరైనా మాట్లాడుతున్నప్పుడు చెప్తున్నప్పుడు, అది ఉమెన్ అయినా మెన్ అయినా ఎవరైనా సరే వినండి. మీరు మెన్ అంతా ఎట్లయిపోతారంటే చెప్పడానికి పుట్టాం మేము, వినడానికి కాదు అనుకున్నట్టు ఉంటారు. లేదు, వినండి. మీరు వాళ్ళ సైడ్ వింటేనే మీకు ఒక పర్స్పెక్టివ్ బిల్డ్ అవుతుంది వాళ్ళ సైడ్ నుంచి కూడా. వెన్ ఎవర్ యూ లిజన్, పర్స్పెక్టివ్స్ బిల్డ్స్. వినండి, కామ్గా వినండి. తర్వాత నీకు ఏమైనా ఒపీనియన్ ఉంటే చెప్పండి. మీకు అర్థం కాకపోతే తెలుసుకోండి. మీకే అంతా తెలుసు అని అనుకోవద్దు. ఎవరికి అంతా తెలియదు. మనం వచ్చింది ఈ ప్రపంచంలోకి పుట్టింది తెలుసుకోవడానికి, నేర్చుకోవడానికి, నేర్చుకునే దాన్ని మళ్ళీ అర్నింగ్ చేయడానికి. వినడం ఈజ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్, లిజనింగ్ ఈజ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్.
Normalize calling out. It could be like a 1-minute Sigma edit also, or it could be like a
Yes.
3-hour film where the actor is degrading women.
Right.
Or alanti movies, blockbusters could have watched. That doesn't mean that is right.
Right.
People are not normalizing calling out. That will become the mainstream narrative in general. So people, like at least young men will think that is like the normal behavior. So this thing I observed in my own cousins also. My young cousins, they were following all these creators, or like they were liking these posts where it was outright degrading women.
Right.
Even if it's like a creator or if it's like a movie director also. If someone says ki okay, this, you know, ki this behavior is there because society mein it lies there, and when even they say things like okay, people don't learn things from movies, no one is becoming IAS by watching a movie, no one will become IAS, no one will do like hard things from movies. They will like definitely learn easy things like stalking or like degrading women. So normalize calling out because it is very much needed. There are some creators in Telugu space, but we are very few. The only reason even I get whatever reach I'm getting is because literally no one is talking about it.
Right.
There are literally like handful of people talking about it,
Right.
so that women feel heard.
తెలుగు స్పేస్లో ఫెమినిస్ట్లకి, మేల్ ఫెమినిస్ట్లకి మేమిద్దరమే ఉన్నాం. ఎవరున్నారు మీకు ఇంకా వేరే ఆప్షన్? అందుకే మేము ఇక్కడ ఉన్నాం. దెర్ ఆర్ మెనీ పీపుల్ లైక్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఉన్న వాళ్ళు, తెలిసిన వాళ్ళు మాట్లాడగలరు, కానీ మేమిద్దరం
They don't talk. They don't call out. You are the ones who are calling out.
మాకేం తెలియదు. లిటరల్లీ మాకు తెలిసింది చాలా బేర్ మినిమం.
Yeah.
అయినా కానీ మేము ఇక్కడ కూర్చున్నాం. లైక్ నేను ఫస్ట్ మేడం నాకు ఫోన్ చేసినప్పుడు, అక్క నన్ను ఎందుకు పిలుస్తున్నారు అక్క అన్నాను. నేను అదే చెప్పాను, అక్క చాలా మంది ఉన్నారు కదా మంచోళ్ళు, వాళ్ళని పిలవచ్చు కదా, ఉమెన్ని పిలవచ్చు కదా, వాళ్ళ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ వాళ్ళే మాట్లాడాలి, నేను ఎవరిని మాట్లాడడానికి అని చెప్పాను. అడిగాను లేదా ఎక్స్పోజ్ చేయడం ఈజ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. కాలింగ్ అవుట్, ఎవరైనా ఇట్లా మాట్లాడినప్పుడు డెరగటరీ కామెంట్స్ పెట్టినప్పుడు ఎక్స్పోజ్ చేసేయండి. ఒకవేళ మీరు చిన్న అకౌంట్స్ అయితే లైక్ 500 ఫాలోవర్స్ 600 ఫాలోవర్స్ చిన్న అకౌంట్ అయితే రీచ్ అవుట్ టు అస్, పెద్ద క్రియేటర్స్తో కొలాబ్ అవ్వండి. ఆ కామెంట్ని, ఆ ఫోటోని తీసుకొని స్టోరీలో పెడతాం, ఎక్స్పోజ్ చేద్దాం, బీ అవేర్ విత్ దెమ్ అని చెప్పేసి. జస్ట్ అంతే. నేను ఎక్స్పోజ్ చేసినప్పుడు ఒక ఇద్దరు ముగ్గురిని దే డియాక్టివేటెడ్ దేర్ అకౌంట్స్.
Very good.
సో ఇట్లా ఎక్స్పోజ్ చేస్తే దే విల్ డియాక్టివేట్.
I think that's a very important point in calling out and no more bystanders.
So I have three E's which I want to give, the habits which everybody should follow. One is Ajay చెప్పినట్టు expose. ఎవరైనా ఇష్టం వచ్చినట్లు ఎట్లా పడితే అట్లా పెడితే ముందు వాళ్ళని ఎక్స్పోజ్ చేసేసేయండి. వీ హ్యావ్ టు షేమ్ దెమ్. వై ఆర్ దే షేమింగ్ వితౌట్ ఎనీ రీజన్ ఆర్ సీజన్? వాళ్ళు చేసినప్పుడు అది రైట్ అయినప్పుడు మంది ఎందుకు రైట్ కాకూడదు? సో ఎక్స్పోజ్ అండ్ దెన్ empathize with people who are standing with us.
Right.
ఆర్ యూనో హూ ఆర్ వాళ్ళ షూస్లోకి వెళ్ళి ఒక్క నిమిషం మనం ఆలోచించాలి. వాళ్ళ పోస్ట్ ఎందుకు పెట్టారు, దాని వెనుకున్న కథ ఏంటి, వాళ్ళు ఏం గో త్రూ అవుతున్నారు, అది మనం ఆలోచించాలి. కానీ వాళ్ళు పెట్టగానే వెంటనే ఒక నెగటివ్ కామెంట్ పెట్టేసి వాళ్ళని డిగ్రేడ్ చేసి వాళ్ళని హ్యూమిలియేట్ చేసి, ఐ డోంట్ నో వాట్ ఈస్ దిస్ కల్చర్. సో వీ నీడ్ టు ఎంపథైజ్. థర్డ్ వన్ ఈజ్ ఎంపవర్. వీ నీడ్ టు ఎంపవర్ ఈచ్ అదర్. ఒకళ్ళు ఏమన్నా వాళ్ళ థాట్ ప్రాసెస్ని చెప్పి ఇది కరెక్ట్ కాదు అని అన్నప్పుడు ఇంకొకళ్ళు తోడుగా నిలబడాలి. నిలబడితే ఆ స్ట్రెంగ్త్ పెద్దదవుతుంది.
Expose, empathize, empower. I think that's perfect.
నేను అవుట్ ఆఫ్ మై ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ నేను ఒక క్వశ్చన్ అడగాలనుకున్నాను విత్ ది ఈ దట్ యూ హ్యావ్ ఎక్స్పోజ్ చేయాలి. ఐ హావ్ డన్ ఇట్ వే బిఫోర్ సోషల్ మీడియా వాజ్ అ బిగ్ థింగ్. యు నో వాట్ హ్యాపెండ్ విత్ మీ మ్యామ్?
More trolling.
I was shamed.
You were shamed. And even after you took
because
action,
I was
you were
called
shamed.
that certain things,
Yeah.
and I was shamed, not just by the nameless or faceless people, by proper channels that
Right.
I was called so and so, and I was shamed. Now, how can you get out of that? There is a part of me, there's a conflict constantly inside of my head that no, you have to call this fellow out. You have to let others know that aise log hain, ye banda is tarah ka banda
But you also know you'll be at the receiving end of further
I
abuse.
am aware of it, but
No, she stopped for a while. She stopped because she was literally facing that bash. Right, left, right, center.
No, I have been very strong. There is a process that I've been going through. So I call out, then I am shamed, then I go to almost depression, then I heal, then I stand again. So I fall and I stand up. It's not a problem for me. But you dragging families into it, I don't know how to deal with that. But I'm learning, thanks to you, ma'am, and thanks to Prema Garu. And there is a group now, Women's Wing, and I have I want to take it to my credit that Stand With Her happened because of the rampant thing that has happened over a woman's clothing, a bodily autonomy, you know. that's the change you can bring out by calling out.
Calling out behavior which is no longer acceptable,
Right,
inappropriate behavior, normalized behavior.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
Anything else, Anasuya?
And you're not just getting support from we women. I think you're getting support from such wonderful men.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Like so many
These
men are really not just them. Anasuya has a brigade actually. There's so many men who support her, who talk for her.
I know, but I know. Definitely needed these,
Yes.
because what calling out also can do is that for someone who's been a victim, and I'm saying it in the proudest way, I'm not ashamed of it, nor I'm getting under the bed and weeping about it. For someone who's a victim, you guys are raised that there is going to be a future which will be a place where feminist is not going to be used as an insult.
Yeah.
You know, feminism simply means that you believe in equal rights.
Equal rights. Yeah.
That's all. It's not misandry. There's a lot of confusion being a feminist and misandry. Misandry ante you
Eating
hate
it.
men, but feminism is believing in equality.
Equality.
And here I want to say, none of us on the panel here today, we are not against men.
Yeah.
We are not against women.
And this is not a session meant for bashing up men.
We are just against a behavior
Yes.
that is becoming problematic.
Absolutely.
And today it is us talking about it. Tomorrow it will be you facing it.
Yeah.
So, mere tak nahi aaya bol ke you can't. So what I'm trying to say is bystanding is definitely endorsing. Call out.
Yeah.
The first one is calling out, definitely. I think for all
Yes,
of us,
yes,
calling out
yes.
is the first thing out of the three. Second one, don't be a bystander.
Yes.
Because you're contributing more than the perpetuator.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to call out. Because it's somewhere giving power that I'm not called out. Na never emanatledu, so I can do it. No. You have to call out. Let's flip the ratio, please. And the third one, stop before you comment. Think, what will this action of mine do to the person? Is it going to
How is it going to land on them?
land on them?
And if the person was next to you, would you still
Would you
do the same?
it? Yeah. One more I would want to add, respect over protection. Any day.
Asya?
It's just that the future that you talked about, Anasuya, which we are envisioning, will not be handed over to us on a platter. It wasn't handed over to my generation on a platter. It will not be handed over to this generation on a platter. We have to fight for it in big ways, in small ways. We have to be alert about what's happening around us. We have to form collaborations and coalitions. And of course, we've criticized social media and that digital space a lot, but there's a lot of positivity there also. And kindness and consideration, again, doesn't mean people pleasing. It is good to have conflicts. It is good to have disagreements and arguments. We don't always want to be sweet and polite. But as we said, don't character assassinate a person. Argue on the merit of, logic, research. You dismantle someone's argument. Tell them, hey, I don't agree with you at all, and here is my reasoning. I think you need to correct your thinking. I think you need to read this. I think you need to talk to so and so. So I think the biggest influencer for me, I didn't have Instagram influencers when I was in my teens and 20s, was being introduced to the feminist framework early on in my life. Being introduced to concepts like anger is a positive emotion. Don't suppress your anger. Engage with your anger. What are you angry about? If you're angry about somebody grabbing your breasts on a DTC bus, that's a correct anger. You should have that anger. Now, how you channelize it, how you deal with it, what you do with it, how you talk about it, So I think being introduced to the feminist framework and feminism is as much for men, it's for all genders. So I think we should really utilize, I love technology, I love social media, and I think we need to utilize it better. We need to use it to evolve our thinking.
It's just derailing. We just need to put it back on track. One more thing I want to add about being a bystander is that all of us have to be aware that as a society, as a number of families which belong to a society, you have to be aware that by just watching some wrongdoing happening, you also forget the fact that these might be the people who are coming to your family as well to disrupt your own peace and harmony. You have to cut it at the nib. When you watch it, you just have to say it.
Yeah.
Because you never know. I am a strong believer of karma.
Yeah.
And you have to believe in that. These might be the people who are seeing your...
That's such a good point. All of us need fixing and all of us need to fix
So all of us have to be individually responsible. We do have that power to bring in change just with one voice.
Yes, absolutely.
Imagine, that's what Sachin's song has done to me. The first reel I saw of yours was Normui, Normui, no Normui. It was fantastic. You should see that. That reel, yeah.
So basically, a lot of men who don't even know, like, who are not even capable of googling the meaning of feminism, but they give you lectures of like feminism. So this song was directed to them.
Okay.
So it goes like, Normui, Normui, Normui. You sound like a fool, quite frankly. You're a parasite of patriarchy. Definition telsuko urgently. Feminism's all about equality.
Thank you. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. So I would like to actually even say something for this. What concerns me is this rural, semi-literate and the young teenage boys and girls, the 15, 16-year-olds. So for them, I would like to say just some very, very basic and simple do's and don'ts for online presence. Simple things like don't just forward jokes for the heck of it, just because somebody is cracking a joke. If somebody has put a very insulting or a humiliating joke on a chat, then speak up and say, this is not appropriate, let's not do it, it's not cool. Always ask somebody before you post their photographs, before you tag them. Because again, at this age, if they don't change their mindsets with simple behavioral changes, it's going to be difficult for the rest of society.
So access, I would like to add, access does not mean permission.
Exactly. And no sharing screenshots.
And it's a continuous thing, ma'am.
Yeah,
आज कर दिया, आज मना कर दिए तो 10 दिन बाद फिर से use करो. No, it's a continuous
What
thing.
else would you like to add for this younger group of teenagers?
This can be a little on a systematic level, because in schools, if you don't teach like men, as young men especially, about what gender privilege is, they're going to internet and they're going to learn only the other thing, which is like completely opposite, because there is no other way, like,
which is maximized now.
Yes.
Which is no resource at all. Like that is also one of the motivations for me to start this thing on Instagram, because my younger cousins don't have anything else to compare it to. They've only seen the misogynistic reels and they think that is the only thing.
Even all the movies, ఎప్పుడు చూడు మెన్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ని, మెన్ స్ట్రగుల్స్ ని, మెన్ లవ్ ఫెయిల్యూర్ ని చూపిస్తారు. అండ్ దెన్ ఆల్ ది లవ్ స్టోరీస్ ఇన్ తెలుగు ఇండస్ట్రీ ఐ కెన్ సే.
ఇప్పుడు సినిమాలు అనేవి ఫిక్షన్. మన అన్ఫార్చునేట్లీ ఇండియన్ సినిమాటిక్ కల్చర్ చాలా ఐడియలైజ్ చేస్తుంది. ఒకప్పుడు ఏముండేదంటే విలన్లు మాత్రమే తప్పుడు పనులు చేస్తారు. ఆడపిల్లల్ని ఏడిపించడం కానివ్వండి, పిల్లల్ని ఎత్తుకుపోవడం కానివ్వండి, ఎవరినైనా చంపేయడం కానివ్వండి, విలన్లే చేస్తారు. సో మనం విలన్లు కాదు, మనం హీరోలం కాబట్టి మనం అది చేయొద్దు. అన్ఫార్చునేట్లీ మెల్లిమెల్లిగా అందరికీ డబ్బు కావాలి. నేను చెప్తున్నాను, సినిమా ఇండస్ట్రీ ఈజ్ ఆల్ అబౌట్ మనీ. And I might get a lot of bashing because of this, but it is what it is. Not just cinema. Cinema is on another level. Lot of things. You just have to... మీరు థియేటర్ నుంచి బయటకు వచ్చి డైనింగ్ టేబుల్ వరకు మమ్మల్ని తీసుకురాకూడదు. యూ డోంట్ హ్యావ్ టు టాక్ అస్ అబౌట్ ఇన్ యువర్ కౌచ్, ఇన్ యువర్ హాల్. అవసరం లేదు. మేము మా లైఫ్లో ఏం చేసుకుంటున్నాం యాజ్ యాక్టర్స్, ఐమ్ సేయింగ్ మేము. నేను కూడా ఎవరి గురించి హ్యావింగ్ అ గాసిప్, talking ill about someone who's with who or what has happened, what did she do to her face and everything, it's none of our business, to be honest.
She's not the character in Pushpa. She's just Anasuya.
Exactly. I can't just go blade తీసుకొని అందరినీ.
Exactly.
So but ఆ ట్రాన్సిషన్ ఈవెన్చువల్లీ ఏమైపోయిందంటే, హీరో అని పిలువబడే ప్రొటాగనిస్టే ఇలాంటి పనులు చేస్తూ అది కూల్ చేయడం జరిగింది. మనం మనుషులుగా మన తల్లిదండ్రులు ఇచ్చిన బుద్ధి, మన అమ్మమ్మలు మనకి ఇంట్లో నేర్పిస్తారు. చాలా అఫ్ కోర్స్ పేట్రియార్కీ కూడా నేర్పిస్తారు, బట్ మంచి చెడు అనేవి కూడా చెప్తూ ఉంటారు. కాబట్టి రిమెంబర్ దట్ ఈస్ ద రియాలిటీ ఆఫ్ యూ. సో సినిమాలాగే చూడడం బెటర్. ఎస్, ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు, ఇలా ఇప్పుడు చారు మ్యామ్ లాగా ఐపీఎస్ అవ్వాలని ఒక సినిమాలో చూపిస్తున్నప్పుడు దట్ ఈస్ గుడ్. ఐ మీన్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు ఛానల్ యువర్ సెల్ఫ్. Do not blame the films because they won't come to rescue me. దగ్గరికి రారు వాళ్ళు.
I have to add one thing here, like I don't completely agree
with me. I saw your reel on that.
Because for me,
But
in
that's
India,
what I'm saying. అదే ఆన్సర్ ఇస్తున్నాను నేను దానికి, because I saw your reel which you said that they are influenced.
Yeah, because for me in India,
Impact
art
is
is political. అందరూ అగ్రి చేయకపోవచ్చు, but for me art is political because Indians lack self-awareness. We only choose motivation, but we don't choose influence. ఓకే, ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ అనేది సబ్కాన్షియస్గా వచ్చేస్తుంది మనకి. ఓకే, అది మనం చూస్ చేసుకోలేం. వాట్ ఐ షుడ్ బి ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ అని చెప్పేసి ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ అండ్ వర్డే అది. సో వాట్ వీఆర్ సేయింగ్, వాట్ వీఆర్ కన్జ్యూమింగ్ ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్సెస్ ఎప్పుడు మనకి సెల్ఫ్ అవేర్నెస్ లేనప్పుడు.
బట్ యూ కెన్ చూస్ కదా అజయ్.
యా, ఇన్ఫ్లుయెన్స్ చూస్ చేయలేం. We can choose motivation but not self awareness. Okay, but not influence. We can choose motivation.
So I think we can close it here. No? Thank you very much, everybody. It was a very interesting discussion, and I hope our audience has a lot of takeaways from this. And I hope we can help in the audience in understanding what is digital dignity, what is digital consent, what is digital empathy, and help in creating a culture of respect.
As being in your position in power, having all this said and done, if they still happen, how is the accountability going to be? How are you going to make it happen?
So the Women's Safety Wing has a very committed team. We have what we call a She Cyber Lab, which watches all these platforms. But we have to wait for somebody to complain. I mean, it's not that I watch a platform and we have some trolling going on and we go and try to do something about it. So if people are willing to come and complain, whether it's a man or it's a woman, anyone can complain. And then we ensure that criminal action is initiated against the perpetrators.
I can be like from the horse's mouth. I have recently done, and it has been great support from department, and I'm extremely happy for the support, and I feel stronger, and I'm here speaking to please come out. You don't have to silently suffer. బయటికి వచ్చి హ్యాపీగా చెప్పండి, అప్పుడు కదా వాళ్ళకి తెలుస్తుంది మమ్మల్ని ఎవరు ఏం చేయలేరు అనుకుంటే ఏం చేయగలరో చూపించాలి ఇప్పుడు.
Thank you very much.
How fast the action will be taken?
As soon as the complaint comes, it will be registered immediately. Within 4-5 hours, the complaint will be registered. There is something called content takedown. We need to reach out to the different platforms. So we have to wait for the platforms to respond. So that may take some time. But the initial action, the FIR registration, etc., is within 4-5 hours. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.